Hey there and welcome to No Recipe Required. I've got a mac and cheese for you. I do mac and cheese at least every couple months or so. It's a little fatty, so I try and avoid it a little bit. But when I do make it, I try and change it up, make it a little bit more exciting. And one of the ways I do that is by matching it to the seasons. This season we're in right now, at least I'm in right now, is fall. So I'm going to do a pumpkin mac and cheese. We puree the pumpkin, just add it in. It's absolutely delicious. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start our pumpkin macaroni and cheese, like we start all our macaroni and cheeses, with a little bit of roux. I've got butter, probably 2 tablespoons of butter in there, maybe 3. And then I'm going to add the same amount of flour to form our roux. And once this just comes together, I'm going to cook it for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes or so, and just let that rawness kind of cook out of the roux. And then we're going to come back, add some cream. You can use butter, and that's going to make our bechamel sauce. Once we have our bechamel sauce, we'll add cheese, we'll add our pumpkin, and then we'll have our pumpkin cheese sauce for our pumpkin macaroni and cheese. So after my roux has cooked down for just 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, and gotten that rawness out, I'm going to add some cream, and I like to add slowly and stir as you go, and that's going to help you avoid any lumps. You can also turn the heat up because we're adding cold cream, cold milk. You can certainly do this with milk. I actually have some milk right here. If I need to thin this out a little bit, I will absolutely do so. And really, you're just going to do this as you go, stirring along until you get the full pint in there, and then let it come up to a boil, and we'll see how thick we are. So I got that full pint of cream in there, and you can see the roux, or the bechamel sauce now, is still pretty thick. So I'm going to add in a little bit of water. Remember the pasta, that's not water, that's milk. The pasta in a mac and cheese like this is going to thicken up the sauce even more. So I like to make sure it's relatively thin before we add the pasta in. Enough to coat the back of a spoon, but certainly not super thick. Okay, so it's time to pumpkin our bechamel sauce. I've got probably a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree that we're going to add. And then I'm also going to add a good cup of cheese. I've got some fontina and cheddar here. You can use kind of whatever cheese you like. It's a good way to actually get rid of scrap cheeses if you happen to have little bits of leftovers. I'm going to season with pepper and a good pinch of salt. And then just let that all kind of stir in. Again, let the cheese melt and mix together. My pasta's cooking. Once it's done, we're just going to kind of combine everything together. Okay, so I've got my sauce all mixed together. I've got it well seasoned with salt and pepper, because remember, we got to season all this pasta as well. I've cooked it to a elbow macaroni, the traditional, right? Cooked it to a very al dente. I'm going to reserve just a little bit to make sure I'm not kind of overloading with noodles. I want a nice balance of sauce and macaroni. This will take it. So I'm going to add the rest of that in. You'll notice how loose and kind of soupy it is, which is definitely on purpose. It's going to seize up, or it's going to kind of firm up in the oven as we cook it, and I want to make sure it's kind of nice and runny like this to account for that. I'm going to take my heat off. I've got a bowl here that I just kind of lightly greased, and then we're going to load our pumpkin macaroni right in the top. Make sure we get all that good yummy bits out. And then I've got a mixture just of a little bit more cheddar cheese along with breadcrumbs here. And I'm just going to lay this out right on top to form a bit of a crust on our mac and cheese. Let's get that everywhere. And then I'm going to pop this into like a 400-degree oven for probably 15-20 minutes. Get that top nice and melted golden brown. Okay, my pumpkin mac and cheese has been in the oven about 20 minutes or so. I got a nice golden brown crust. If you need to, you can fire the broiler for just a minute or so, and you'll get it done absolutely perfect. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.